Welcome to the Crypto Weekly Market Update. Thank you for joining. This is the video where I'm going to be throwing in the no-nonsense, bite-sized and to-the-point weekly market update with everything concerning Bitcoin and, of course, the crypto market in general, as well as covering things like news, of course, price action, what are the biggest things that impacted the market, all that kind of stuff. So hope you enjoy this video and let's get straight into it. Now, disclaimer always applies. As always, please pause it, read it, understand it. This is not financial advice, just my own personal thoughts, opinions, and experiences. If you want a financial advisor, I recommend you go and find yourself one. Now, let's get straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let's look at Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin's been doing. Where are we? Let's get my buttons correct. There we go. So Bitcoin, as you can see on the daily, is at 26,883. Now, I talked a little bit about Bitcoin in the previous market update video, again, which covers my legacy market updates. So you can check that in the top right corner of the screen. But we're going to go into it in a bit more detail here. So we are sitting at 26,890. Let's just call it 26.9. And we are following a bit of a small channel here on the daily, as you can see here. I'm not going to start drawing all these lions and smiley faces and God knows what on here because, well, to be honest, I don't trade like that. Although I do use some fairly simple ones there. But the idea is this: is we are on a downward channel, okay, and we have seen, for now anyway, this peak of almost 31k occur, which happened, what was it, middle of April, as you can see here. Now, because of this downwards action, of course, due to a number of different factors which I've covered in previous videos, so I'm not going to cover them now. We are, it is looking like we are on the way down. Let me just bring up one of my other charts here for a second. Now, I know this might look a little bit complicated for you here, but and if you want to know more about this kind of trading style, by the way, please go and visit Trader's Reality by Tino. I'll put that in the description box below because he's an incredible trader and mentor and friend. So the idea is here, as we can see, forgetting everything else, just look past everything and just look at this blue line with a cloud going around it. That's 50-day moving average. On the daily, we have passed it. Okay, we've gone under it and we've tried to hit it once, twice, but we failed to get above it, retest it and carry on going up. And that's what I said last week. I was looking for to see once, when did this big red candle happen? This happened on Sunday. Midday Sunday last week. So I did my video just as we had got through this 50-day moving average, and I was saying, to see this just be a test and go back up, we needed to see that happen, and we did test coming down. Of course, we came down to just under 26.8. okay, and we've come back up and we've tested this 50-day moving average, but we haven't been able to go above it, as well as including the VWAP here. So at the moment, it's not looking great. Of course, we know crypto is crypto, right? And however, on the grand scheme of things, what are we looking at down here? We are looking at coming down for the short term if we are to continue this downwards trajectory to the 26.5 area. And in this is sitting on the hourly chart. Excuse me. Let's have a look on the daily here. I should have more coffee. I am running off the back of doing videos back to back, so bear with me. Same thing though, same story. Look, we hit it once, almost hit it twice in the 50 EMA, and we're just still continuing this downward projection. So our next target that we're going to be looking at is this 25k. And the reason why I say that, and that is again on the presumption that we are to continue the downward action, is that we've got the 200 EMA down here. It's going to be a very strong point of resistance. And we have got a lot of liquidity, a lot of market maker activity here to be taking if we do go down there. And it wouldn't surprise me with everything that's going on. I'm going to go into that in a little while. Okay, how does this all relate to the debt ceiling situation that we've got, the upcoming default of the United States, all of this. But before we get into that, this is just a bit of price action overview. What else can we say here? Yes, okay, because it looks a bit of a head and shoulders pattern. Of course, it is the weekend and it is boring. There is no volume there. So that is Bitcoin. I'm not going to do any other prices or any other coins. That's where we're basically sitting at for price action. Now, something that was quite interesting to me is low trading volumes for Bitcoin are at all-time lows. I mean, just look at this chart right here. It does show that we are at its lowest volume, meaning it's a sign of weak market participation. All right. Now, everyone's got their own theories on why this is. I mean, it could be a separate issue. It could be people are paranoid about losing their coins, then having them on exchanges. It could be a whole host of things, but it is something that's quite. I came across it and I found it was quite an exceptional bit of data there for us to keep an eye on and see what is going to happen. I mean, it could also be a sign, and a signal that investors are waiting for signs of a rally before they enter the market, and ultimately low trading volumes are a sign of a lack of momentum there. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So let's move on to the question of the US debt ceiling. Now, if you want to know more about the US debt ceiling, I do go into it as well. And actually, I'd recommend if you're going to watch both these videos, I'd recommend always starting with the legacy markets video first, okay, which is my general market weekly update video, then moving on to this one, because I tend to kind of follow things off from that. But as for the US debt ceiling, is it bullish or bearish for Bitcoin? And that's what we're going to kind of focus on this video when it comes to the US debt ceiling. Now, we know the US has hit its 31.4 trillion debt ceiling. Okay, that's the whole idea of what we're talking about. And let's just be quite frank with it, they're going broke. And if it's not lifted, should I say, sorry, by the beginning of June, the country will default. Now, unfortunately, there is a bit of a tug of war situation going on between the Republicans and the Democrats, and Biden is set to come and kind of glue it all together and fix it up, right, when he returns back from Asia, or at least that's what I last read. But of course, jet lag. I don't know. I just don't know with the Mr. President Biden anymore. But anyway, I believe he's set to start dealing with that when he comes back from Asia. Now, most experts are agreeing that the US government default would be and will be catastrophic for the US economy, and of course just the whole global financial system, right? Catastrophic, huge. The stock markets would crash, right? Millions of jobs will be lost, and the economy will just basically fall into a really, really hard, harsh recession, i.e. black swan event. Not that I'm saying it's going to happen, but it's a possibility. And if we do, as investors now, okay, forget traders, as investors, if we see that black swan event, that's a great opportunity to buy in on things. Of course, it's not a great circumstantial event, to say the least, but in darkness we should always see the light. God, let's not go philosophical with this, bloody hell. It's not that time of day. Right, anyway, what are the chances of this happening, right? What are the chances of this kind of thing, this catastrophic event happening? And, well, they haven't, to put it simply, they haven't been this high for a while. Let me tell you. So according to a Bloomberg survey, which I'm going to put here in the top corner of your screen, investors believe that the risks of defaults are now higher than they were back in 2011. And back then, the US government was very close to defaulting on its debt, if you remember. And that resulted in a major market crash. And the US credit rating was downgraded for the first time from AAA to AA+. And all that basically means is the lower the credit rating of a country has, the riskier it is to invest in its debt, and the harder it is for that country to raise money by issuing bonds. So to avoid an even worse scenario, this time lawmakers will probably find an agreement, even perhaps at the very last minute, but let's see how that will play out. To sum up, basically, if this debt ceiling is not increased, I think initially it's going to be initially we're going to really see a negative impact for risk markets, including stocks and Bitcoin. Going back to that black swan event that I was talking about. How will that happen? Well, personally, I foresee panic's going to set in first, right? You're going to see massive sell-offs, massive sell-offs. I mean, if we just look at Bitcoin, this is, again, Bitcoin is supposed to be the true hedge against inflation, and I will talk about the flip side in a minute, okay, the bullish scenario. But as for the bearishness scenario for Bitcoin, this panic's going to set in. People are going to want to hold their money as tight as possible. They will do a massive sell-off. And what happens with a massive sell-off? A snowball effect. Other people will see it. Other people will panic. Other people will sell. And, this kind of snowball effect will happen throughout the markets, in my opinion. And a potential US default would be particularly dangerous, especially for dollar-backed stablecoins, because a lot of them are backed by US Treasury bills. Many of them could depeg, and I believe USDC, I was trying to try and find the article to show you on the screen live. If I can find it, I'll put it here for you. They've tried to get ahead of this right now in case of the event of this happening, and they've done that by rebalancing their reserves. So that's all right. That's the doom and gloom side of things. Let's look at the bullish take on the whole thing. Now, again, looking at another Bloomberg poll, which I'll put here, Bitcoin would be one of the top 3 assets retail investors would buy to protect their wealth in case of a default. But my reservations on this are, although it is one of the top 3, that anything under that are currencies, and let's face it, no one's going to put their money in currencies, in my opinion. But it is top 3, it is third. In my opinion, the way I see it, it's last. People are going to be putting their gold. In my opinion, gold is set to go up. Not financial advice. Do not go and buy a damn thing based on what I am saying. I'm just explaining what I think may happen. And gold has a much more bigger store of value because why? It's just been around for how much longer? Yes, Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation. Yes, it's got a limited supply, etc., etc., etc. But it's also very, very volatile, and people haven't got as much faith in that as they do as things like gold. However, Bitcoin being outside the control of governments and with a limited supply does become highly attractive in situations like this. So we could see the opposite of the snowball effect, right? We could see people, especially the diehard, crypto, me included, right? I'm going to be buying up my Bitcoin. I again, going back to what I foresee this panic, sell off, snowball effect, stable price starts to go sideways, go choppy for a while, and then we're going to start seeing the uptick, and that's where we're going to really see Bitcoin boom, in my opinion, if we are to see Bitcoin go to the bullishness. Anyway, that being said, Bitcoin, that's basically the US debt ceiling. I had to kind of really focus this video predominantly on that because the US debt ceiling situations, the talk of the town for the whole week. It's been covered everywhere and anywhere, so I wanted to kind of put my take on it with crypto and Bitcoin in particular. Now, the other big news that we saw this week was, of course, the whole Ledger backdoor situation, and just covering that very briefly. Ledger, right? If you don't know what Ledger is, it's a hardware wallet. And these hardware wallets are there to protect your digital assets, your cryptocurrencies, your Bitcoin, your whatever. And for me, I've always had a number of these, which I store my crypto on, and without really any lack of trust for a number of good years. However, things have changed. We did see a leak. I explained that in a previous video in 2020 on the email situation, but it didn't really kind of get me to lose faith on these things. They're very tough and robust, and pretty much impenetrable. But recent news comes out from Ledger saying, basically to sum it up, new business model, in my opinion. That's the whole reason behind all of this. They're going to be charging $9.99 for a separate service, which is a recovery service. So in case you lose your 1224 seed phrase, you can use their recovery service, and basically your seed phrase is given to 3 custodians that they look after it, one being Ledger, and when you need it back, they can get it back to you after you prove your KYC, etc. That's not how these things work. If you don't know these things, if you've got a good amount of Bitcoin, crypto, money in digital assets, put them in a hardware wallet. I'm not saying this because, in my opinion, I've completely lost trust in Ledger. You can see in my links down below what I recommend or what I'm going to be using and how I'm using them. But definitely use a hardware wallet. Again, nothing's foolproof, right? But we do need to take as many measures as we can to keep safe and secure when it comes to our digital assets. But anyway, you want to learn more about this whole Ledger kerfuffle, right? The whole Ledger fiasco. I will put it here in the top right corner of your screen for you to go and watch that. Actually, it's done unbelievably well as a video. I think people are taking a lot of value from it. It is it's a longer video than what I'm normally used to making, but there's a lot to be said on the subject, especially when it comes to security. Again, guys, when it comes to security, it should be one of your top, if not, actually, it should be your top priority when it comes to storing your digital assets, because again, you're not storing your money in a bank where the bank takes on the risk. You're taking on the risk. So yeah, go and check out this video. It's very, very important to watch. Follow it. If you've got any questions, feel free to comment in the comment section below in this video or in that video. And that's that. So I think I'm going to kind of end the video there. There's just so much more to be said, but I don't want to make this video too long. Again, remember, these market update videos are supposed to be short, to the point, no nonsense, in your face videos, because I don't want you to be sitting there behind a screen going, oh, what else? Oh, what else? I want you to get basically what's been going on in the week, price action, news, and what we can look to see and how we can use that information in our trading and investing on the week coming, which is going to be tomorrow, or for some of you by the time this is uploaded, probably today. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If there's anything that you'd like me to add to these kind of videos or remove, or any other comments that you have on these videos, please throw them down below. But more importantly, please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and of course share this video if you can as well, if you think other people might find this video useful. Why? Not just for the sake of the channel and the video, but I am very, very much appreciated when you do show the support. I love it, but more so for the point, by interacting with my video, you will be expanding its reach to other budding traders and investors out there, and hopefully this could help people prepare for the week ahead when it comes to this video, and of course other topics on videos that I do can just help people in general. So anyway, enough of me rambling on. I've done 2 videos back to back, and it's going to be time to editing them. So hope you've all had a great Sunday, hope you've all had a great weekend, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.